Hello, I'm Andrew Pritchard, and thank you for watching today's Canada Regional Forecast, brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. So checking with the jet stream here on Friday morning, we've got a trough making its way along the Canada-U.S. border, making its way west to east right now, bringing some showers and storms to the northern plains, to the upper Midwest of the U.S., bringing some rain showers to parts of southern Manitoba right now, and that is going to quickly make its way out of here, allowing that ridge to reestablish itself, keeping a summer-like pattern going across the Canadian prairie and across a big chunk of the Corn Belt as well, across the United States over the next 7 to 10 days. The next 10 days of temperature anomaly forecast here, where you see the red shading is where we are warmer than average. You're seeing a lot of that both over the next 5 days and the 5 days that follow that across the Canadian prairie. The exception, perhaps, across British Columbia, getting into portions of western Alberta, perhaps seeing days or two at times of some cooler conditions on the backside of some of these storm systems. But by and large, for the next 10 days, a very summery pattern across the Canadian prairie, extending all the way down into the Corn Belt of the United States. Where we're seeing precipitation, well, it's going to be quite dry across the Canadian prairie overall. Your exceptions, again, are going to be coastal flow across parts of British Columbia, bringing some precipitation in there, and then southern portions of Manitoba on the backside of some of these storm systems getting some more significant rainfall. But across the midsection of the Canadian prairie over the next week, rather dry overall. There will be chances for some isolated, scattered precipitation opportunities, but nothing significant making its way through the Canadian prairie over the next week. Taking a look at the satellite picture then here Friday morning, here is this gorgeous storm system spinning away across the border here between Minnesota and Manitoba early on Friday morning. A beautiful morning across parts of Saskatchewan as we wake up. Just checking on the radar picture here. None of this hitting the ground here. You're seeing some ground clutter across southern Saskatchewan. Here are the rain showers across parts of southern Manitoba. A bit of a blustery, cool, and rainy day in southern Manitoba here, and then some light showers, very light showers, perhaps falling across parts of Alberta between Grande Prairie and Edmonton there, but nothing significant hitting the ground as we wake up on Friday. Now, the jet stream, where are we headed? This will kind of illustrate the pattern. We've got this little trough making its way through the flow, ridging overall, other than this little guy sneaking through here on Friday morning, but by the time we get into early next week, that ridge reestablished itself quite well. We'll take this into getting into Saturday and Sunday. There you see it taking shape. Again, mentioning that perhaps portions of western Alberta feeling some cooler weather as we deal with the trough kind of reestablishing itself over the western half of Canada and the United States. But this is a very summer-like pattern as we head into the next week and then beyond that even. Let's take a look at the precipitation forecast. This from the GFS model. Here, if we bring it back to Friday morning, here is the storm system we're watching here as the sun comes up on Friday morning. This gets out of here, moving from west to east, perhaps a light shower here possible Saturday night and Sunday as this little quick-moving clipper-like system here kind of just like slides through the region. A bit moisture-starved, not a lot for it to work with, and that is, again, where I expect very little, if any, precipitation across the region from that Saturday and Sunday. So as we get into the mid part of next week, by the time we get to late Tuesday and Wednesday, here we see our next storm system organizing over a very similar path, the northern plains of the U.S. or the southern Canadian prairie, but we see the storm system developing here late Tuesday into Wednesday, bringing possibly some showers and storms to southern Saskatchewan into southern Manitoba. Then heading into the end of next week, a lot of uncertainty, but keeping things on the drier side across the Canadian prairie. Perhaps another storm system developing, taking another track through the northern plains and southern Saskatchewan and southern Manitoba next weekend, but we will talk about that more in the forecast next week since uncertainty is fairly high with that one. Day-by-day precipitation from the GFS model. Let's go ahead and we'll step through this one. Your Friday precipitation, again, going to be heaviest across portions of Manitoba. Maybe some light showers across parts of central Alberta for the day on Friday. Saturday, again, very light, very isolated rain showers possible as a quick-moving system comes through on the backside. Sunday, though, we are quieting down. Your precipitation chances now going to be coming from that coastal flow off of the coast of British Columbia, getting into maybe far western Alberta. This will be Sunday. Getting into Monday now, maybe again light precipitation across parts of central and northern Alberta. Dry across the prairie, though, until we get to Tuesday, perhaps seeing some precipitation across southern Saskatchewan, southern Manitoba. Same thing on Wednesday as the storm system makes its way out. Drier then again as we head into the late part of next week. Perhaps that next storm system then on Friday and Saturday of next week, bringing another streak of precipitation across the southern portions of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. So really, not a lot of significant precipitation to talk about across the Canadian prairie. Really going to be dealing with a mostly warm pattern as we head through the next week. Total precipitation then, this takes us through the next 5 days from the GFS model. Again, as we focus on the Canadian Prairie here, one about the driest region that you can find on here. Coastal precipitation heavy at times across British Columbia. This is where we expect more of the precipitation on the backside of this storm system here Friday and Saturday. But again, across the Canadian Prairie, not bone dry perhaps for everybody. Maybe some folks seeing some light precipitation here, but it's certainly a drier and warmer week across the Canadian Prairie. Your temperature anomalies now will take the forecast into next week. The red shading where you see the warmer temperatures, that blue and green shading where we see cooler weather. Cooler on the backside of the storm system making its way here as the loop begins on Friday, but as we play it out into the next week, you're seeing a lot of red across the Canadian Prairie. That exception, east or western portions here, British Columbia, parts of Alberta, perhaps seeing some cool downs here as we deal with that onshore flow, a lot more cloud covering and precipitation, but very warm week across the Canadian Prairie. The core of the warmest weather, if I kind of go ahead and pause this and bring it back, taking it into the early part of next week, the warmest temperatures probably making their way across the region here during the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and perhaps Wednesday timeframe all the way across parts of Manitoba, but really looking like a very warm early next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday across the Canadian Prairie. Temperatures perhaps 10 degrees or more above average. We'll take a look at the zoomed in precipitation forecast then across Alberta. Just playing this out over the next week, what you're seeing is, the high production portions of the southern portions of Alberta going to be on the drier side with more isolated scattered precipitation chances possible across central and northern portions. So your central and northern ag portions here, or ag areas, these have the best chance of maybe more significant. And when I say significant, we're talking about 15 to 50 millimeters of rain here from some isolated to scattered showers. Off to the south, probably going to be a more dry week as we talk about southern Alberta. The high temperatures for the next 5 days here. As we look at Friday's high temperatures, very close to the 20 degree mark. Similar look here, maybe some lower 20s on Saturday. Sunday, we start to build in that core of the warmest area. Remember I said is kind of that Sunday through Wednesday time frame. As we talk about Alberta, perhaps probably going to be, or I would say, as we talk about Alberta, likely that it would be Sunday and Monday that the warmest air will be here. This is Sunday, and then Monday. By the time we get to Tuesday, probably seeing some cool-ish air coming on the backside, probably talking more about seasonally appropriate temperatures rather than actual cool temperatures. So there are your Tuesday high temperatures there in the mid-teens to near 20 degrees. Pivoting off to the east, we'll look at Saskatchewan and Manitoba. This is where we expect to see the better chance for significant precipitation, southern Saskatchewan into southern and central Manitoba. Let's just go ahead and we'll play it out now, taking it through to the end of the week here. This would be Friday morning where this loop stops. Let me go ahead and bring it back. I just kind of misclicked there. Let's take it through time. Just showing you this comes from the Friday, Saturday storm system, and then we're kind of quiet on the backside, maybe a light shower here late Saturday into Sunday morning across central and northern areas. Dry across the prairie, though, across southern Saskatchewan and southern Manitoba. Behind this Friday, Saturday storm system, it should be dry Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. By the time we get to late Tuesday into Wednesday, then making or seeing that next storm system track through with a very similar track. So the heaviest precipitation across southern Manitoba, southern Saskatchewan, and then perhaps seeing another storm system come in on the backside next weekend in the Saturday, Sunday time frame, but big question marks there. So really a dry week overall again across southern Saskatchewan, southern Manitoba, waiting for that Wednesday storm system to make its way through for the next significant chance for some precipitation. Your high temperatures, this is where we're going to see a lot of warmth here rebuilding into this region. For the day on Friday, low 20s across southern Saskatchewan, a bit cooler across southern Manitoba, high temperatures in the mid-teens, where we got some more cloud cover, a little bit of rain shower activity this morning, and then just seeing some of that cooler air on the backside of the storm system. But warming up as we begin the day on Saturday, highs in the low 20s across the region. Really seeing that warmth come in now Sunday, and then Monday, check that out. High temperatures near 30 degrees across the prairie. Even warmer still for southern Manitoba during the day on Tuesday with temperatures in the lower 30s. As always, Eric Snodgrass will have an in-depth look at the evolution of the next 1 to 2 weeks in our Monday morning Ag Forecast video. And I'll be back to talk about the Canadian Prairie on Tuesday morning. Have a great day and a wonderful weekend.